Why make the speaker Cradle.Sonos 1? How to install it, and 5 common questions. The speaker market is huge and growing quickly. However, most products are aimed at function. Google, Amazon, and Apple just have a few audio-focused products. But the brand with the most awards and the biggest reputation for premium smart speakers would be Sonos. Sonos have the Era 300 with spatial audio, the 5, soundbars, subwoofers and more. But when we think of music around the house or in a commercial environment, the 1SL Era 100 or the ceiling speaker kits are often used. The 1SL doesn't have a microphone for smart assistants, the SL meaning speechless. So it's the cheapest option, but it has true play tuning, so audio is auto-calibrated to suit the room. The Era 100 features 2 stereo speakers at the top and a mid-range. Then you have the Sonos amp and in-ceiling speaker kit. Sonos and third-party manufacturers like Vogels and Sonos offer wall mount and floor mount options. As an architect or a builder, you'd want to hide speakers, or at least free up space, so table space or floor space. You also need power and ideally a physical data connection. You try to face audio in the direction of the audience, towards their heads. Based on the above, wall mounting's a nice solution, and when there's a much larger budget, the ceiling speaker kit. The Indigo speaker cradle allows a 1 to be hidden. Most ceiling cavities are easier in terms of cabling as you don't need power points. Because the 1SL is the cheapest speaker and the install is cheaper and faster, costs are minimized. There's also flexibility. Imagine a bathroom that requires just 1 speaker. If you have a Sonos soundbar, you can use the 1SLs in the ceiling as a discrete rear channel. Install them under the eaves for outdoor entertaining. For tradies, this is a cheap option, but also convenient. Just keep a couple of 1SLs and a couple of Indigo cradles in the van, and you'll cover most of your client's requirements. So that's why we made it, but how do you install it? An electrician will locate the ideal position in the ceiling while also avoiding joists. Using the template, they'll cut a hole and connect the Sonos 1 to a power point, often called a surface socket. Ideally, they'll connect a network cable too. The cradle can be separated into 2 parts, which allows it to pass through the hole in the ceiling. Slide both halves back together. I find it's easiest when you push one side up and then the other side down. Squeeze on the bezel. Work your way around until the bezel and the cradle feel like they're tightly attached. Then reach through the hole and place the Sonos on the cradle, facing the correct direction. The square shape of the Sonos 1 means that it'll fit snugly in place. And here's a view from below, so you can hold on to the speaker until the last little bit, where you've got to use your fingers to just jiggle it into place. The magnetic grille can then clip on the front. And now on to the 5 common questions. It's specifically designed for just the Sonos 1, a perfect fit. It won't work with any other speaker. We hope to release a speaker cradle for the Sonos Era 100 soon. The Sonos is held in place by gravity alone. Because of the shape of the Sonos 1 being square, rectangular, it stays in place without the need for redundant parts like cables or fasteners. The second question, could the Sonos fall through the ceiling? Well, the cradle's about half an inch wider than the hole, so 1.5 centimeters. As long as it's installed properly, this shouldn't be an issue. Third, will all hands fit through the front hole? Well, the front is about 3 inches by 5.5 inches, which is in centimeters, 7.5 centimeters by 14 centimeters, so it should be fine. And the fourth question, do I need to connect it to power and data? So the Sonos 1 doesn't have a battery, so yes, it needs a power point. The data is optional, but most industry professionals will prefer a cabled connection where possible. Does it suit all ceiling types? The design features teeth as it allows for various thicknesses of plaster. The ceiling needs to also have space above it, but generally speaking, ceilings have a lot more space behind them compared to, say, the space behind a wall. So yes, it should suit most ceilings. So let's summarize with the 7 reasons to use a ceiling cradle. First, more applications from houses to businesses to cafes. You don't lose real estate, like if you have a Sonos on a shelf. Ceiling cradles are cheaper than wall mounting or using passive speakers and amplifiers. It's easier to work in ceilings compared to wall mounting and installing power points and possibly data points. Ceiling cradles are the fastest way of installing ceiling speakers. Tradies only need to keep 1 product in their van. And finally, works with any room from a tiny bathroom to commercial venues and even outside under eaves.